lot of professional tournaments. We won a lot of tournaments worldwide. I mean, we won more in the last 10 years worldwide than any company. We make good bowling balls, and good players use our bowling balls because they can win with them. For the first 10 years of making bowling balls, it was a big struggle. We had a lot of ups and downs and a lot of mistakes we made, but we learned from them. I mean, you don't go to school to learn how to make a bowling ball. You know, you can't buy a book on it. And a lot of what we were doing hadn't been done before anyway in the bowling ball industry. So it's always trial and error. We're always looking for the next thing. Still, when I walk downstairs and walk through the plant, there's some days it just overwhelms me that what's happened here. Just a lot of good people working hard, constantly trying to get better. Everybody here works together and understands that everybody's important, and I take a lot of pride in being a part of that. Well, bowling's been good to me. It's my life, and I take a lot of pride and try to help people get introduced to it and enjoy it.
Welcome back to the 28th Irish Open, live from the Leisureplex Bowling Centre in Stillorgan, Ireland. Final step 1, part 2, positions 1 to 36, and your featured pair includes Pertu Gisela, Kira Ray, Adam Michaels and Greg Marcus. Kira Ray opens up with a strike. Big shout out to Kira's girlfriend, Megan. Kira asked us to give Megan a big shout. We'll get her to wave at some point as well. And a host of amazing players now on the lanes. They include Alan Keddy, the bronze medalist from the Senior World Championships. Timmy Mack, the legend. Jamie Bottomley, the 2014 winner. Sami Lampo, bowled really well in qualifying, from Finland. Who else we got? Big Elko Guota from Netherlands. And you know the list, you can see the standings. So we've got Alan Bride, Barry Foley, Jason Burns, Amanda Larkin, Stephen Gill, Ron Hurt, Patrick Yannick Sorensen, Chris Sloan, Pertu Gisela, Kira Ray, Adam Michaels, Greg Marcus, Danny Hopcroft, Jason Agate, Mark Kerr, Miles Duke, Sammy Lampo, Aki Benson, Krista Petterson, Eric Van Saban, Michael McCall, Fergal McLaughlin, Elko Gorta, Alan Keddy, Bar Jensen, Jamie Bottomley, Ollie Svensson, Christian Carlson, Hadley Morgan, Paul Chandler, Remco van Dommelen, Joe Alsibrook, Ben Grisinga, Lee Cocker, Chris Oates, Brian Voss, Tolle Danielson, Tim Mack, Gareth Williams, Stefan Ljungström, Jamie Alder, Craig MacArthur, James Claxton, Callan Simons, and I think Steve Gassman's on there, is he? John Norton says, go Kira, kiss kiss. Alke, on the Keddy. Neil Dent, come on Keddy. Alan Keddy, Bernie says he's on TV on game 2. Neil says we want big things from Keddy in Malta, 19th Senior Open. 5th to 9th of October 2016. Also a shout out to Bernie Bowling. Please promote our tournament in Boblingen near Stuttgart and Munich. You know the one. Okay. ISBT Senior Tour. Pertu Gisela, front 2. Kira Ray, front 2. I'm going to stick around for a few minutes, then I'm going to be taking a break, and I'll be back in game 3, ready for the Tim Mack streaming. We're going to have Wes Pye from Storm coming in. Welcome back to Simon Shepherd, who's had a little bit of rest.
Yeah, good rest. I slept for 3 hours or something, so I needed it.
Good for you.
Yeah, I have to play in about 2 hours, so.
Whose fault's that?
Mine. I played well, so.
It's a good job you're good with technical, because I could go nuts leaving me here on my own. But no, you've earned your place so far, mate. Good luck to you. I hope you do really well and make it through to tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
At least if you do make it through tomorrow morning, you won't be going to the pub tonight. But if you don't make it through, I know you'll probably have a session.
Yeah, maybe a short or small one. But.
So Kira looking for front 3. Didn't have to look very far. She kind of make it. Come on, swim back into the pocket, but she got it. Are you watching, Megan? Come on the chat and say hello. Neil Dent. See how I got that plug in there, Dom? Clever. When's Jojo on the stream? I'm not sure, to be honest, G. I don't even know where she is. Can't see her yet. I think she's down the left side of the house. Is it? Can't see her anywhere, mate. I'm sure it'll become apparent soon as we see people bowling.
She should be playing right now.
Sorry?
She should be playing right now.
Yeah, she's down there somewhere, but I'm not sure what lane. I think it must be down the left side because we can't see because of the green screen now. So Pertu Gisela, front 4. Kira Ray, front 3. Danny Hopcroft, front 4. Kira just comes through the face. Leaves 2.
Joe is playing on lane 4.
4. Right, I'll let you commentate for a little bit. I'm going to see if I can bring somebody in to commentate. I'll get a Dutchie if I can.
This is final step 2. No, it's still final step 1. It's part 2 from final step 1. These are the players who are placed 1 to 36 after the players who got a bye. So final step 2 will begin at 10:30 tonight. Evening, Mark.
Looks like he's stuck with me.
Yeah.
Find anybody to come on. Did Christian Carlson bowl already? I think he might have done actually. He's not. No, he's in this block.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
Who's that?
Neil.
Ah, yeah. Loves a bit of bowling, does Neil?
Yeah. I'm sorry to say, but I'm not coming to Malta this year.
Yeah, he's not coming, Neil. He graduates. But he's gonna be working with us because he's gonna be doing it remotely from the Netherlands. Are we talking technician again tonight, Dom? No, I think we bored everybody last night, didn't we? Being anoraks about the machines.
Yeah.
Pertu Gisela opens up it from 5. I was going to have a break for a bit, but I can't find anybody to come on and do commentary, so looks like he's stuck with me. It's been a long day. I think 12 and a half, 13 hours up already. 12 hours.
Yeah, we were here at 8:15 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I'll sleep next week. What time does the after party start? It's about 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, yeah.
And we finish at about, our presentation's at 5, so yeah. It's back to the hotel, shower and then out again. That's what did me last year though. I was that tired by the time the party came. I wanted a couple of beers and go to bed. Never really got a chance to kind of stay up. Rita, we're doing great, Dom. Little did I know when I had the pleasure of your company lodging at Cheswood that we were that we were housing the future, our future icon. Happy days. Yeah, to be honest, Rita, I never really showed any promise about doing anything when I was younger. It took me a lot of years to realise what I wanted to do, and I still don't know. Kind of, this is just maybe a passing fad for a few years until I find something else to do. But it's enjoyable while it lasts. Yeah, if anything, your lad Gavin would have been the one because he would always miss the stato. He knew a lot about all the players, far more than I ever did. I don't know if he told you, Reet, if you remember, his hero was always Brian Voss. And got Brian Voss's autograph for Gav last year and sent him it. Voss here again this year, actually. Yeah. Roy Munson, sorry about that. Yeah, we missed that before. I remember seeing about Del Delaney. Any update on Del Delaney going into the Hall of Fame? It's up to the committee. There's 10 people on the committee and they vote for who goes in. I'm just one part of it. It's people from all aspects of the industry and associations, and basically what we did when we started the UK Hall of Fame is I got together all the people I thought were the most influential people within the sport in the UK. Managed to get them all talking, and they all agreed to be on the committee. And after a lot of trying over the years, I think by other people, it was pretty easy in the end. I think I just came in at the right time with the right idea. But as for Dell going in, I think there'll be a lot of other players go in before Dell. He had a good career, but I would need to see some of the results of what Dell's won. I've gone through all the ETBF championships and world championships and everything. I've spent hours going through those, so I've got a rough idea of people that I think are going to go in. And there's a lot of gold medalists and silver medalists still not inducted. Dave Pond was 17 when he won the first ever World Championship medal for the country. He's a likely one. Jerry Bugden is another. He could go further back to Tony Blanchett. And even Bernie White had a good career way back in the early days of bowling. But then came the new generation, like your Dave Ponds and your Bugdens and your Meg Shaw, Sheila Leonard. Going a little bit late, you've got your Phil Scammels, your Chris Buck, Jeff Buck. Matt Wansell says, Team Kerry and Agate. And Thomas Harrison, Dom or anyone, do you know if Smig made the cut? Yes, Smig did make the cut. He's down on 1 and 2, I think, or 3 and 4. Joe Cundy, yeah. Joe Cundy's definitely in there. I think she's won more domestic, or up until Lisa John did. I think she was the highest was Joe. She's had over 30 or 40 domestic wins. Not as many international, a few as a junior. Another one that won the World Cup would be Mel Isaac. Fire some names over. Which people do you think should be in the UK Hall of Fame? Have the right people been selected so far? Dom, Stu and Paul are all in there. Bernie Caterer, Brian Michael, and who's the other one? Like 6 men we've inducted so far, and I'm missing Ron Oldfield. We've got Gina Wardle, Pauline Buck, Kirsten Penny, Lisa John. That's 4, and I'm missing another 2 as well. Gemma Burden, Gemma Harding as she is now. And Zara Giles. Wayne Greenall, yep. Oldfield's he's in already.
Yeah.
Ron Deacon didn't have much of an international career as such. Lol Ellis, yeah, good call. But we can't stick everybody in straight away. We went, I'm not sure if we're going down to 1 next year, 1 man, 1 woman. The first 3 years we agreed as a committee that we would induct 2 men, 2 women for the first 3 years, and then we'd look at it again and obviously go back down to 1 a year. We don't want to stick everybody in, we might run out of people. Steve Thornton, Nicky Harvey. But I'm of the opinion, I do a lot of work on the actual, have they earned the place. I can't vouch for the rest of the committee, they pick who they want to pick. It's my job to try and educate them as much as possible with as much information as I can find and give to the committee so that they can make a more informed choice. But when you look on paper at what the young and the old have done, the likes of Dom, Kirsten, Stu, Paul, Lisa, they've won a lot more than the old guard, the old school, but that doesn't mean they're any more or less important. Whoever won the first medal, which was Dave Pond, for me, has to go in at some point. Same for whoever's the female first medalist. You can go back a little bit further to players like Hilda Clifford. So coming up to the end of this first game, and Pertu Gisela is going to finish with a 246. Adam Michaels striking out for a 219 with one more strike. Kira, after that bright start, just kind of lost away with a couple of splits. Split opens 8-1, 8-1. Came back with a double 9 spare, 9 spare. 162 in the 8th with a spare working in the 9th. Who else do you all think should be in the Hall of Fame? Phil Scammell, of course. Did I mention Phil? Judy Howlett. You can go further back to some other players that won quite a few. Kim Oakley. Jill Owen. So shout out again to Kira's girlfriend Megan. Kira asked me to say hello. How many hours were that, Simon?
Already 12 hours.
12 hours streaming. Yikes. Well, we've got another 3 hours yet. And then some. Guys, is it only 20 to 9? Is it only 20 to 9? Man.
Yes.
If I fall asleep, folks, just get somebody to wake me up.
$182 viewers right now.
Nice. Thomas Harrison says, junior team England coaches like Terry Searle, they've brought the juniors through. Yeah, these are an industry award for people like that, for coaches and people that have done something within the bowling world. Fran D, for you older players out there, Fran D did a lot for the sport. Even Pat White. No, she wasn't popular with some people within the BTBA, but Maurice Glazier, or Glazer. All acceptable people.
We have Christopher Pedersen finishing off with a 255. Lines
Nice.
12.
Mark Kerr's finishing with a 190 with a strike. Danny Hopcroft's going to hit a strike for 228. But if you want to be educated on UK bowling, I've built a UK 10-pin timeline. In fact, I'll post that link on the Facebook page now, so that you, if you decide to go have a look at it, you know. Because I can't type in the address; it's a really long address. If you bear with me a second, just post this into top 10 pin. Ooh, sorry, mate. Right. So if you go to Talk 10 Pins Facebook page, you'll see a link just gone in there. UK 10 pin timeline updated. Basically what that is well, exactly what it says. It's a 10 pin timeline. Covering the sport from day one. So, for instance, AMF International Bowling was formed on May the 5th, 1958. George Lord formed AMF Bowling International with offices in Savile Row and a manufacturing site to make 10-pin pin spotters in Leytonstone, East London. And the next entry we've got a UK 10-pin actually arrives in the UK on January the 20th, 1960, as the first British bowling centre opened at 7 p.m. in 1960 at Stamford Hill, and guests included Sir John Hunt, and the MC was Eamon Andrews at the 14-lane AMF equipped centre. And then the first Brunswick install was at Golders Green. The TBPA was formed in 61. And the first BTBA championships were in 1962. But a host of information up there for you to have a look at your leisure. So if you just get yourself up to talk10pin.net and look at that. Michael McCall, Elko Gorta, Alan Keddy and Fergal McLaughlin on your featured pair now. You senior bowlers out there will know of Alan Keddy, who bowled in the Senior World Championships last year and picked up a bronze medal. If you're going to win a medal anywhere, winning it in the States is a good thing to do. Still nobody I can pull in for a game to do a bit of commentary. Are you all right commentating on your own for a little bit?
I'm going to try, but I'm not going to promise anything.
Just say what you see, that's all I do.
Yeah.
I'll try and get somebody to come down with you and sit with you for a bit. Any preferences?
No.
No? Richie?
No.
No. I'll find somebody. But I think Barry's kicking on. Barry's on the lane now, isn't he? Before I go, Jamie Bottomley and Porridge are still in. James? How about Jason?
Could do.
I'm doing a bit of commentary with At least you're both Dutch in a small way.
Good evening, Jason.
Hey, so how's it going?
Yeah, it's good. Just had a rest for 3 hours.
You must be feeling great.
Yeah.
I could have slept for the last 3 hours pretty easily. Been here all day. In the ball
Yeah.
at 10 o'clock.
I was here at 8:15, so.
Oh, lovely. So what's going on?
Yeah, some pretty high scores the first game.
The low end of the house, not so much. Standing behind 1 and 2, watching Tim, and the guys in that pair were battling. It wasn't anything over the top.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Kristen
Yeah.
from Pedersen shooting to 55 or something.
Oh, okay.
It's been tough to get a decent scoring pace all day long.
Yes,
I found yesterday.
the lanes for me were extremely forgiving. I think the only thing that we really had to concentrate on was your speed. You know, I think a lot of the different parts of the lanes were playable.
Yeah.
You know, you got guys throwing different surface balls in different areas and shooting well, you know.
A little bit more for now. So yeah.
There.
Yeah.
You go.
No, you were throwing in Storm Quarks, I believe.
Yeah, the crux for the first sort of 2.5 games, and then I switched over to the bull.
Yeah, unbelievable. Your first Irish Open and shooting 300 straight away.
It was one of those little fairy tale stories. I was scheduled to bowl this morning at 8:30 and again at 12:30, and I came down to the bowling centre and saw that Timmy was bowling and asked if there was space in the squad for me to play.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, why? I was feeling a bit anxious. I was keen to bowl. I've been wanting to bowl for a while, so I asked Sean, and there was space. There were 3 people that hadn't registered for that squad, and there were 2 people on the waiting list. So I was the 3rd one on the waiting list, and we waited till 4:15, and he literally said, you know, all 3 of you are in. So I picked up my stuff and walked down the lane, and I was on the same lane as Tim. So
Yeah, they were.
yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, you throw 15 strikes in a row. 15 or
Yeah,
16.
it was 15 or 16.
Yeah. And there will be always one lucky in a 300 game, and that was your last one.
Well, that's probably the worst and the best part. I mean, it's always great to have the 12th. I mean, that's what makes it count. But you sort of wish everyone that got to see it got to see the other shots, you know.
Yeah.
That's all that everyone's seeing, is that runaway Brooklyn for the 12th. The rest of them were pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest was flush bucket and
Yeah.
down in the pit. And we had the same score as well, 14:36.
There were 4 of us that
Yeah.
had 14:36 actually.
Yeah. 3 of us got through to the second final step, and number
the
4
fourth-
has to play over here.
And for me, all I was told, in fact, I think it was Dom that said it to me, he said that the lowest score falls away. And I thought, when he said that, what he meant was that the person with the lowest score out of the 4 of us,
Yeah.
the lowest game dropped out. And I had the lowest game.
Yeah.
And then when I went and checked, somebody said, no, but you're seeded 8th,
Yeah.
which means that you're top seed out of the 4. And I said, well, it's impossible, I've got the lowest game. And I said, no, the lowest game falls away. And it's over the top 5, in which case I swung back into the positive more than anyone else. So it was a bit of a relief.
Yeah. I still would made it to the second step because of the top 4 for squads squad 7 to 11. So.
Okay.
But it's nice to make the normal way
Yeah.
instead of getting a lucky and.
But you sort of sit here now and you watch them bowl. I've been here all day, and I sort of thought to myself, it would have been great to have thrown a few balls before 10:15 tonight.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're going to be running through till 12:30, if I'm not mistaken. That's the scheduled time to finish, 12:30.
For squad 2, for the final step 2 or this squad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The next one.
I made it to the second step last year, and I was finished at 2 at night.
Wow. Yeah.
So if the guys who made it had to get up at 7 in the morning again,
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours of sleep, and
Yeah, it is what it is. We've all done it before.
yeah,
I think we all did it last night anyway.
but that's the Irish Open, and yeah,
It's my first one. A couple of people from South Africa have bowled this before,
yeah,
and I've always heard good stories. It's my first opportunity to play in it, so I thought I'd make the most of it.
now I got here. This is my second year over here, and
Yeah.
last year I qualified like 75, 80 or something. So
Yeah.
I was low, and
So you had to bowl all day and all night.
yeah, I last year I played the first squad on Saturday, 8:30.
Yeah.
I've been here all day for live streaming. Had to play the first squad of final step 1.
Yeah.
Had to wait the second one. Made it through the cut. Played final step 2. So I was done after.
Yeah.
I
That's
averaged-
a long day at the races.
Yeah, I averaged 170 on the last one, final step 2 or something. So
And who are we watching for the squad? Who are the potential big guns?
yeah, I think the usual spots: Michael McCall,
He throws it great.
yeah, Danny Hopcroft,
Yeah.
some of the Swedish and Norwegian guys.
Yeah.
I think if we get the standings and looked at.
Adam Michaels in the squad. He's a lefty. He throws it pretty well.
Yeah, Kira Ray is one of
Yeah.
the.
Tim is in the squad. He's batting
Yeah.
with his knee and his back a little bit.
Yeah,
And he was having it tough in game 1. I don't know what he's doing in game 2, but I'm hoping that he can push through and post a number.
yeah, well, we're getting one on game 3, I think.
Yeah. Is Brian in the squad as well? Did he bowl the previous one?
He's in this one. I think he's on
13 and 14.
No, he's on 1 and 2.
Has he moved down?
Yeah, he started at 15, 16.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think it will be close again, just like last year.
What's your number for the bubble?
Last year it was 8.55,
Yeah.
so I think it will be 8.70 this year.
Timmy says 860.
Yeah, the scoring pace is a little bit higher than last year, so
I called 90 plus 90. So we'll see.
Yeah.
93 was the cut.
yeah, it's cut for the
plus 92,
92, yeah.
I think we're going to be sitting around the same number.
Yeah.
And is it the top 26 after tonight that are joined by the top 6 for tomorrow morning? Is that
Yeah,
right?
I think so. We have the program over here. Final step 3. 32 players will play 6 games starting from scratch. Players position 1 to 16 are qualified for the final step 4.
Yeah.
And this final step 2 top 26. Yeah.
So top 26 from tonight, yeah.
Yeah. And tomorrow they will be joined by the top 6. I'm hoping to get through to tomorrow. An improvement on last year.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some fireworks in the last squad tonight. I think there are a couple of guys are going to be coming out, guns blazing.
Yeah.
I hope to be one of them.
No, I didn't expect to shoot 14.36 on the first day. It was a stressful day.
You and me both. You and me both.
Yeah.
When I shot 14.36, yeah, that's decent. I didn't expect to see 4 other guys on the same number.
Yeah.
And I also at the time didn't expect to see 10 people above that. The score has been really high. Yeah,
but I got my bowling bag half an hour before my squad started. They lost it at the airport, so
lovely.
It's a stressful day, and then shooting that.
They still asked me after I qualified last night, so, will I be bowling tomorrow morning? Not a chance.
No.
I'll take a time out, thanks.
Anyone stringing strikes together? Denny Hupcroft on lanes 11-12, starting with the front 5.
Yeah.
Do we have another pair started with someone on lanes 1 and 2, starting with the front 3?
Oh, Voss is down there.
Yeah. I think he is starting with the front 3.
Timmy's got front 3 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, on 5 and 6.
Yes. Now we have Jason and Gage starting with spare and 4 strikes. In the same lane as Danny.
Yep.
It's unbelievable how many good players are in this squad.
It's unreal, you know. Back home in South Africa, we'd sit and look up stats and hop onto Bowling Digital and see what's going on and check the names of the players. And you arrive at a tournament and it's just like every other tournament back home. Guys come and arrive with their bowling balls and say hi and grab a drink and go and bowl.
Yeah.
You know, and it's guys that you used to watch on TV growing up.
Yeah, because in South African it's not really. Yeah, we're looking at the players list in South Africa. Oh, okay.
We've had a few people from South Africa play in the past. We've done right. I think Anne Jacobs actually won this event in 2003, if I'm not mistaken. But we've had a few guys coming up in the ranks for a while and making some noise in the international scene. Guy Kaminsky's done really well over the last couple of years, finishing 2nd and 3rd, I think, in the World Cup. Won the World Temple Masters. Got Chris Barnes in the final of that, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Fran Lowe, he actually just finished 2nd in the World Cup in November last year in Vegas. And he won, I think it was the Saudi Open in December.
It looks,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guys starting to make their mark.
Jason Gage started off with spare and first strikes right now.
Yep.
Then he had a 9 spare in frame 6.
Yep.
So 279 and a 290 pace.
Looks like Timmy's opened one up.
Yeah, he left a 10 pin. Or yeah, moved to 10 or a 9 pin. It's in between.
And Brian's still going. Can we see down there?
There's somebody stringing starts together on 1 and 2, but I can't see the name. Maybe with binoculars we can check it. It seems like it's Chris Oates who's starting
Okay.
off with the front 5.
Another one for Jason. 1 lane 11. Flush as can be.
Yeah, we're going to expect some decent scores in this squad.
For sure.
Somebody on 17-18 is on 280 pace, it look like. Yeah, 280 pace.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a shame. Stoneheart 9.
I had 2 of those yesterday. They were
I
heartbreaking.
got 5 or 6 of them in my qualification.
Almost kills me as much as the 7 pin. I really don't like to leave the 7 pin.
Yeah, it's pretty busy in the chat. Talking to each other. And
Yeah. I think Chris just had another one. Yeah, he's still on the go.
yeah.
And what was it that you were throwing yesterday? What equipment were you throwing yesterday?
I've been throwing all games to the Storm High Road.
A go-to for most people.
Yeah. I
You
love
just that ball just doesn't get a bad review.
Nope. It's on the market for 6 years or something now,
Yeah.
and I own 3 original high roads.
Yeah.
And a high road pill and a high road solid. I just drilled my third one 2 months ago on a Saturday, and throwing a 300 on Sunday, and that boat keeps going. It's about to go to when nothing else is working.
A lot of people seem to say that. I've only recently got the Crux and the Crux Pearl, along with the lock and a Skyrocket.
Yeah.
Sort of just a 4-ball combination. The lock is a lot more versatile than what I thought it would be, but for traveling purposes, I had to make a choice of 3.
Yeah.
And with the pattern that was put on, I just thought that, I'd take a combination of the solid and the pearl, and then something that should be a whole lot less in the Skyrocket. But like I said, they're really playable and pretty forgiving, and
Yeah.
really haven't had to move much or change up much.
No, I had to change a lot on Thursday night.
Yeah.
I started at 25 and finished at 42 or something.
What?
Yeah. There were a lot of straight players on the outside, so I got to get into the oil and but keep hitting the pocket and
Bounce it off the right-hand side.
yeah. I had to make a big mistake to not get a pocket.
Yeah. And the ladies, what's your call for the ladies? The ladies that are bowling, what's your call for the ladies?
Danny Hopcroft is playing well, and Kira Ray as well.
Yeah.
We're missing big star with Lisa John. She's playing
I haven't
English.
seen Lisa's.
Hmm?
Is she bowling this weekend?
No,
Yeah. I thought she
She's-
was on the entry list, but I didn't see her.
no, she got a new job. We know. No, she got a new job and didn't get the day off because of the World Championships as well. And
Okay.
so she had to save some days. It's a shame.
It is.
She
I
gave her
bowled
a good run last year. Here.
I was watching the footage and I was also obviously following the score sheet, you know.
Yeah.
And first bowled was Lisa in 1996 at the EYC at Airport Bowl. And she's really made a go of it.
Yeah, let's see if Chris Oates can make the front 9. He's on lane 2 at the moment. Stepping up right now.
Yep, got him. Looks good. Yep.
Looks like it. 9 in a row.
Yeah, he's got it. We were having this discussion earlier, myself and Rob Philby,
Yeah.
about the prize money for the shooting 300 and splitting between the two. You're standing watching because there are a couple of guys on runs 7, 8, 9 strikes,
Yeah.
and you want people to do well. At the same time, thinking the more people shooting 300 this weekend, the more we're going to be cutting down that pie.
Yeah.
Awkward position to be in. You want them to do well, and you don't want them to do well.
Yeah, because the prize money for the 300 game is.
I think it's
300.
Yeah, 300.
Highest game. Yeah,
Yeah.
and if they're already 2, so
Yeah.
it's 150.
And I think it only works for the qualifying rounds. Now that we're into the finals, it's
Yeah.
all said and done.
Who's on the front 8? It's from the front 9 already.
Yes. Chris Oates up for his first shot in the 10th.
Yeah, I think we have the spell on it, and when we are going to talk about it, we jinx him, and we jinx the guy who's trying to throw 300. When you left your last ball, you
Yeah.
thought, oh, not again.
So did I.
And we're finishing off Elke Gordon with a 238. Big guy from Holland.
Yep.
Danny Hopcroft 254. Michael McCool 236. Some pretty high scoring games.
Yep. And all the way down, what's happening on 17 and 18?
Yeah, they're already done.
Yeah. Paul making a decent run now.
Chandler Paul.
Yeah.
Jojo is a little bit struggling.
She has been
The whole
the whole weekend, the
Yeah.
whole week and weekend, she's been looking uneasy.
Did you been in Bollands yet? Already?
Where?
Bollands? The pub,
We were there last night,
Yeah.
making our mark. I think we got there just after dinner and we left at about 1 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
I think just before things started getting too messy.
Yeah, I went off to hotel at something about 2, so.
I was told that you bowl all week and you have fun and have a couple of drinks and then everyone waits for Sunday night.
Yeah.
I believe Sunday night it's a hostile takeover.
Yeah, we're going to do something great with Lee Gretland and
Yeah.
Cheddars.
Yeah.
With the show on Periscope.
Yeah.
Just to get a feeling of, yeah, we're doing here the bowling.
Yeah.
And then get the time off in Bollands and get out, film the after party live.
Okay, perfect.
So it will be a great thing to do. Finishing off game 2. A couple of frames to go on the left side of the center. That was a dead ball from Remco. Rollout. Yeah.
Brian's having a go. He's really trying to get pumped up on 1 and 2.
Yeah. Defending champion, so.
Fighting for it. That's the way it's got to be.
Yeah, fighting champion. He's a really nice guy and he's crazy.
Well, crazy's never a bad thing.
No, but last year he won and he went straight to the pub and we haven't seen him since.
I think he might have just stayed there.
Yeah.
Came and picked up his equipment to bowl this weekend.
Now we have to leave at 3 in the morning. But the party continued in the hotel lobby. They didn't serve any food or drink, so we just ordered pizza and keep partying. Yeah, Dominic has an early flight at 8 in the morning or something, so he has to leave at 5. And last year we were sitting still there, and I'm sharing a room with him.
Yeah.
So we were sitting still like there. Bye.
Had to do that more than once on a bowling trip.
Yeah. Who's your looking favorite to win this squad? It's hard to say.
It is hard to say. I think Oates has got a strong chance. Just posted a big game.
Yeah.
That side of the house seems to be scoring high for me though, so, and it's only 4 games, so I don't think he's going to get out. He started at the top.
Yeah.
I don't know what game 1 was for him, but I would assume he'd be pretty solid for game 2, and game 3 will be in the middle of the house,
Yep.
which has been playing pretty fair. I mean, I only bowled 6 games yesterday, but I definitely found more on the left-hand side.
Yeah, it's a bit dry. 1 and 2 are, we're bowling against up a hill, and if you're going over it, it never comes back and gives you a little bit short and through the nose. Oh. He didn't need that. The 4-6 split after a double.
Yeah, that's not what you want to be looking back at for sure. Jojo looking to wrap up the game.
Yep.
Sheet for 190. Timmy at 230.
277 for
Oates.
So Chris Oates has a 277 and Brian has got a 279.
So that's what getting worked up was all about.
Yeah.
The alpha male on the pair. Brian trying to stamp his authority. Chris running the front 9.
Yeah, we're getting on Tim Mack this game.
Yep.
We're getting Dominic back with Wes Spy for the commentating.
Okay.
So I think he is stepping in.
Ready to come back on, yeah?
Yeah.
We've missed you. We've missed you.
Oh, it's very kind of you. Thank you very much for coming on, Jane. Cool, man. Thanks, mate. Where's the show? Cheers, mate. Sit on that one side. Where's in here? Oh, get another seat. Are you staying here or you want to have a break?
No, I'm staying here.
Move up a little bit then, I'll get in the middle.
Ryan. Welcome back. And it looks like we've got Timmy Mack now on the live stream, and we're going to be joined by Wes Pye very shortly. Huh? Right, so Tim Mack, Tora Danielson, Gareth Williams and Stefan Ljungstrom on the stream now. As Simon and Jason maybe just told you, 277 for Chris Oates and a 279 on the same pair for Brian Voss. I think Jamie Bottomley had a 279 down on 17 and 18. I did want to leave the centre for half an hour and just, 20 minutes and have a break, but I ended up watching the bowling for a bit. So we're just waiting. No, I'm all right, thanks, mate. So just awaiting Wes Pye coming down as we get started with Timothy Mack. Ooh, swinging it. Bit too far there, Timmy. Maybe in 1996 you were hooking it that much. Just zipped off his hand a little bit. Looking at the chat there, Neil saying, Thomas, Malta Open is perfect for you, bring your balls too. We're just having to locate Wes at the moment. He's gone AWOL. Timmy picks up his spare. See if I can see him myself. Oh, you might walk past him. He's here, he's Wes. On this one, Wes. You can stay there, Jay, if you want. So we'll just get Wes mic'd up. There you go, Sam. Good, mate. Welcome to the live stream. Wes Pye.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here. Bowling's been really good this evening.
Yeah, it certainly has.
Yes, it has. Congratulations, our friends you've been talking to, the South African transplant to Scotland, Mr. Bezzy. Congratulations on his 300.
You can't say his name either.
I can't say his name. I'm not even going to try.
Okay.
I'm not even going to try.
I've been calling him the Bez.
See, when I have a short name like Pye, I can mess up
Easy.
anything more than about 2 syllables. So I'm going to. Well, I'll tell you what, Brian Vossor, just watching him bowl down on 1 and 2, and he just shot a 270 game. It looks pretty good down there, making the turn and making some really good shots.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, then, Wes. Your position within Storm.
I'm the international sales consultant, so I handle sales and marketing activities for Storm, Rotogrip, and Master Industries, the main 3 Storm brands for all of Europe, as well as Mexico, South America, and the Caribbean.
Wow, where does that base you then? Back in Utah still now, or are you in Europe, or?
I tell you what,
everywhere.
I live in Utah. I live about halfway between the bowling ball plant and the airport, so it keeps me busy. But thank goodness for cell phones and WhatsApp and all those good things, and stay in touch with
the family and stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely, stay in touch with everybody.
Family at home, yeah.
Yep, everybody's good. My mom and sister and everybody, they live in South Carolina, so I get back there every so often. But I have a daughter there in Utah, so a little shout out to Sky Pye if you're listening or you're watching on the live stream. I told her I was going to be on, so she's one of these 17-year-olds that's very social media savvy, so she's keeping me up to speed on what's going on in the world, Instagram and Snapchat and oh, Dad, don't you know about this, so I stay up to date that way.
Good boy, good boy. Yeah, you need to keep up with the kids. What's the latest thing that everybody's using to connect?
Absolutely.
I've got to say then, congratulations to Storm, another great year.
we're very fortunate. We've had have some really good success last year. On and off the lanes. In the pro shops, we really appreciate all the support we continue to get, and we're learning every day from the experience of the players and the bowlers and the feedback we're getting from the pro shop operators, and that's how we develop products. I mean, the guys in Utah, Hank Boomershine's now heading up research and development along with Victor Marion, and they've made some great products along with Steve Klimkin and Gary Holzenberg and the guys in marketing. So there we got a really good team, and I know Timmy mentioned it earlier, but thanks to the leadership there and the ownership at Storm that's made it possible for 25 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary of being in the bowling business this year, and it basically started with a bowling ball cleaner called You Clean You Score, which is a urethane ball cleaner. And technically next year will be our 25th year of actually making bowling balls.
Yeah.
So, Bill and Barbara Christman have invested a lot of time, energy, and money, and made an impact in this industry. And a lot of us are very fortunate for that. And, other guys like the present company, Dave Sims, has been my colleague at Storm for, almost 2 decades. We go back a day or two, but there's a great team there with, like I said, Hank and the guys. And I'm just really glad that Timmy, Timmy's become a big part of our team, and then we're going to get to see him throw a shot here on
He's
on
the eyes
lane
to
9.
the world in a lot of ways, and he travels around. And
Yeah, Timmy back for about the last 20 years has been many places, been the first person. He and Peter Somoff, Robert Dong, a lot of those guys that have traveled internationally extensively in a lot of places around the world, they've been the first person that
he's opened up the market for you.
Exactly, or that someone has engaged somebody that's using a Storm ball or what have you. And now to see it today, we talked about the other day that he's just overwhelmed sometimes, saying, "Wow!" Just to think back in the day that I was look at that little trip 4, 9 falls out for a nice double for Timmy. Little nice break there. He started off a little slow on 1 and 2, but he got it back together and shot 239 that last game over on 5 and 6. So.
I think people forget as well with Storm that you were the new boys kind of 25, 30 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
You were nobody. You'd come from nowhere. You were going up against AMF at the time and
Yes.
Ebonite and Brunswick and that little upstarts. You're like the motive of 25 years ago.
Absolutely.
And then what you've achieved in that time has been quite impressive, really.
Well, I mean, if you go back to look at the early 90s when Storm started making bowling balls, you had companies like Brunswick, like you said. You had all the big boys. You had a lot more manufacturers. You had a lot more tournament players, a lot more activities. And now you even get up to the middle late 90s when Pete Weber signed with Storm. It wasn't Storm signs Pete Weber.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he just celebrated his 19th anniversary of the company January 10th of this year.
Right.
I happen to know that because Pete Weber and I went to work for Storm the same day, January 10th, 1997. So tip of cap to my fellow colleague, Mr. Weber, and
who did Pete play with before you guys?
Actually, he was on staff with Columbia, and before that, he was on staff with AMF. And actually, for a brief period of time, when I was with Hammer from '92 to '96, Danny Wiseman, Pete Weber, and Norm Duke were on staff with Hammer, the old Faball out of Maryland. Whenever I was there.
So you go back a lot further than Storm days with Pete.
Oh, yes, sir. I worked for the ladies tour. I was bowled on the tour. I was a bowling proprietor in Georgia and Florida and pro shop operator. So I've worn a lot of different hats. So I've been pretty fortunate to be able to make a living going to a bowling center for a long time. So I'm very grateful.
How did you get involved in the sport in the first place?
Baseball practice got rained out one day.
Really?
So I was a baseball player, 9 years old. Baseball practice got rained out in Columbia, South Carolina. And my mom and dad, my mom had bowled in some leagues when we lived in Florida, and there we go, Timmy with the turkey. He's off and running. He's
putting on a show for the fans at home.
Yeah, he's on his way. It's that little point there. He just gave our direction. Means he's got a little bit of a good look. He's loose. He's loosening up that swing. He's going for. He's refueling. He's getting. That's what he's saying. He's refueling right now. But no, I went and bowled for the first time and. Anyhow, so kind of bowling bug bit me, and so I got involved in junior bowling and so forth, and bowled in high school, and got part of a scholarship at the University of South Carolina on the bowling scholarship back in the late 70s, early 80s, and worked in the local bowling center, pro shop, and just kind of evolved from there. So I've been very fortunate. Actually, I bumped into some friends of mine that live in the UK now, Mike and Libby Tatum, that they knew me back when I first started bowling. I was like 9, 10, 11 years old.
Wow.
And he was one of the big shooters. And we've been sharing some stories about, you remember this person or that person back from the day. So And that's the nice thing about bowling. It's a cradle to grave kind of sport where it's the only thing you can have.
Very, very hard to drop out of it once you're in it.
Yeah, and also you can have, you're a good environment when you have everything from the great grandparents to the great grandchildren that can actually participate together. Just not watch somebody, but actually engage together in an activity. And so there's a lot to be said for that, for the community atmosphere. And speaking of the community, we've got great support here in Still, Oregon. Leisureplex has been fantastic. I mean, Sean Kennedy and all the crew, they do a fantastic job here. We're very excited on behalf of Storm. This is our first of 3 years. We're back after an absence last year, and we're working on some things to hopefully make this a even bigger and better event. But I tell you, it's tough when you're sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I've said, I've been very fortunate to be involved in bowling for a long time, and I continue to want to do that.
How about your own bowling career? How good were you?
Well, I was. If you've ever seen the movie, for those who've seen the movie Bull Durham, I got it for my cup of coffee. But I was a pretty good minor leaguer. I won on the regional tour down in the Southeast, and I was very competitive down there. And actually, my claim to fame is I survived being Guppy Troop's roommate. and the first week we bowled on tour together was in Austin, Texas. And the first game he shoots 300 with a green-white dot. I make the rabbit. Back then you had rabbit squads. You have 100, 150 guys bowling for 10, 20, 30 spots where it was left over. And then you got into the main event. Summer tour event back in the early 80s. And Guppy went on. It was kind of exciting. He shot 300 the first game. He led wire to wire. And if you look it up, he beat Mark Baker on the television show. So you're rooming with the guy who makes TV and wins the first week out. So
and a colourful character as well.
Oh, he's great. And I tell you, his son Kyle, from having known the family a long time, Kyle walks and has a lot of the same movements and walk and everything that his dad does. He's a very colorful character, and there's a guy that should be in the Hall of Fame one day.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Guppy was definitely one of those guys that was very charismatic. I'll tell you, Kyle is his son Kyle is up-and-coming star and new champion on the PBA tour. So there's a lot of great young players out there, and just to watch the evolution of the game is pretty impressive. I mean, the two-handed players now, the Jesper Svenssons and the Oskus and needless to say the great Jason Belmonte. And by the way, a little shout-out to Mr. Belmonte. He's awaiting the birth of his third child down in Australia, which is the reason why he didn't bowl in Japan this week. And so all the best to he and his family.
And your boy Dom's doing well.
Yes, Mr. Barrett, Don Barrett, one of our staffers, very, very, very. All of us at Storm are very proud. Right now, he led the tournament Japan, the DHC, by 247, and he's going to bowl for the title. And,
for $40,000.
Yeah, actually the defending champion Chris Barnes. Welcome back, Chris. He just came back from back surgery and his first tournament back, and he makes a TV show. He qualifies third.
Class is class, though, isn't it? Really.
Yep. Absolutely.
Going back to Guppy Troop,
yes, sir, please.
I did a little bit of research myself. I went on Wikipedia and all the rest of it. He's a Scotsman.
Yes, his troop. Yes, absolutely.
So he's technically the first British person to win a PBA title.
That's very true. I think he was born in America, but his mother and father.
Did he have a British passport though at any time?
I think he did, because his mother and father were definitely Scottish.
He was born in Edinburgh, according to the
okay.
The
Well,
details.
I didn't even know that, because when I met him was when they had moved to South Carolina, where I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina. And that's how I met Guppy, when he was still bowling the handicap bowler of the month tournaments with for those dinosaurs of us in bowling using a 3-dot AMF 3-dot back in the days of hard rubber bowling balls at the now long gone Star Lanes in Columbia. But actually, there was a lot of good players that came through that area. For those that followed bowling a little bit, Jeff Bellinger, who bowled Tour PBA champion, he came through that area. George Pappas wasn't too far away in Charlotte, North Carolina. He had a nephew that lived there in South Carolina. His name was Lee Levinas, who's actually sponsored many bowlers on the PBA Tour. Even today, he's an attorney now. So I'm name dropping here a little bit.
That's
but
okay.
I apologize.
That's okay.
But there was a lot of people that kind of came through that area that still around bowling had some impact on the game.
And what's coming up for Storm this year? You got some new equipment, Tim was saying?
Yes, absolutely. We just released, as a matter of fact, they just got here to Europe, the new Phase and the Fight. Those two balls that came out, and you just got to take a look at those on the website. And anytime you do look at the website, and it says that there's a certain release date or they're coming out at a certain time, bear in mind in the European market, we get those bowling balls over here anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks in advance. So always check with your local pro shop to say, hey, do you have this ball yet? Because, for example, the Alpha Crux and the Pitch Blue, which are coming out in March in the States, we're going to have them here in February.
All right.
So
we're getting them ahead of the States then.
absolutely, and part of that is so that way we can get we can get a little bit of the international markets can get the strategy is the international markets are able to get an advanced release of it before the U.S. market does, because once the U.S. distributors or market gets the bowling balls, then sometimes there's a lot of third-party or side importation in the market. So we're trying to protect the pro shops and distributors that support us over in the international markets.
Obviously, the American region's your highest gross profit. Which one comes after that? Is it Asia? Is it Europe?
Absolutely, be Asia.
Asia.
Be Asia after that, and then Europe is third. But we get a great deal of support in the European market. We've had a concept where we actually have a localized warehouse inside the EU. We have for the last 6 years. We just kind of celebrated, starting our 6th year, and it's been a lot better to be able to get those articles, those items close to the point of sale. So it helps the local distributors and pro shops not go from having so many products to nothing. We have a pretty steady, even flow where we're working with our corporate partners.
Keep everybody stocked up quicker.
Exactly. So, and having that warehouse facility outside Amsterdam, it's about an hour outside Amsterdam. It helps facilitate us being able to get products to the distributors, to the pro shops and bowlers a lot quicker and a lot
What
faster.
other things can we expect that are going to be new coming up in the next couple of years from Storm? Are you working on anything?
Well, I tell you, we're going to have a new bag line out. I hear there's going to be a couple of new innovations in that. I'm excited to the U.S. Guys just saw them last week, so I'm looking forward to seeing them, learning some
innovations. That sounds interesting.
That's what I'm hearing. So I'm going to wait and see. So
Wait and see,
stay tuned.
Watch this space.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. But there's going to be some new products coming out from Rotagrip, and we've had a lot of success with the Haywire that's come out. And for those of you who've been watching the PBA tour on ESPN or live streaming on Extra Frame, you've seen some of the new Rotagrip balls, the Eternal Cell, the Critical, the Hectic. Those are really getting rave reviews, and the players are embracing them. What we kind of find is when the PBA guys use them, we tend to find that a lot of those products do trickle all the way down, and that we see a lot of good use. So we use what we learn at these tournaments, when we're working with these players to be able to take to the pro shop and consumer level.
That's why you have your staff players, really, though, isn't it, to test the product more than anything.
Absolutely.
And to show that it works.
Absolutely.
You're not going to buy a ball that doesn't win.
Exactly.
Usually. It might look pretty and all the rest of it.
Right.
Tim actually touched on a phasing that's coming out on your bowling balls.
It's called the Phase. PHAZ, called the Phase, and it's a new cover stock material that actually you're going to see it kind of react a little bit to the temperature. So you're going to see it change a little bit of color. So
color changing bowling balls. Not only do they smell nice now,
well, it's just a little bit of an adaptation. It's not a huge change, but you're going to see some differences based on the temperature of the cover stock. So if it's a little cold, don't be surprised that it phases and goes a little toward white, but then as it warms up, it gets back to its true colors.
Oh, right, that's interesting. And we were talking about staff players and stuff. You've got a lot of great staff players.
Yes, sir.
How do people become a staff player?
Well, we actually on stormbowling.com, our website, we are more than willing to take anybody's bowling resume, if you will, and take a look at it. But the process we go through, Dom, is we try to take a look at where they are. If they're a tournament player, if they're a pro shop operator. In the United States, they have many levels of staff players, from amateur level players all the way up to the guys like Pete Weber and Norm Duke.
Yeah.
What we've done over in Europe is we've tried to concentrate on just a few players because now in recent years they've been allowed to use both brands, Storm and Rotagrip. So that way we can try to concentrate on a smaller select group, but still try to help support the pro shop operators, that type of thing. So here in Europe, we evaluate it every year to see where people are going, and what we're trying to do is we want it to be a great relationship. And actually what we also do, to tell you another little secret, is if we get approached by someone who wants to be on staff, we don't talk to people who are already on a staff that's under contract. We just don't think that's professionally
you don't
courteous.
poach. Yeah.
Number two is we already look to see what they're using by their own desire, or whenever they've pulled the money out of their pocket.
So if they're brand friendly to start with, it looks more promising.
Absolutely, and the reason being for that is because we don't want it to be this big leap for somebody that really doesn't understand our products or our philosophy or the company a little bit to begin with. and we're always looking for great players. And unfortunately, due to budgets, we try to support as many players as we can.
That makes sense, yeah.
But in the grand scheme of everything at Storm, if you figure between the PBA Tour, supporting tournament events around the world, supporting staff, supporting a lot of bowling organizations and tournament groups, a huge percentage, upwards of over 20% of every dollar goes right into the marketing budget to be able to do that. Be it if it's Peter Somoff going to help give lessons. He was just at James Claxton's Bowling Center in Ayr over in Scotland.
All right, yeah.
And then you've got guys like Tim Mack who are traveling around helping support the staff, plus educating. You spent a couple of days over in Nuneaton with Alex Hamilton, giving some lessons and helping some of the players. We invest back into the business and the bowlers and the industry.
I want to make a pitch for you here, Wes. I think you should be sponsoring Kira Ray.
Well,
she already throws your brand. She likes it. I think she's about ready for 8 balls.
Well, we appreciate that, and I tell you, we'll certainly take a look and do everything we can. But it's sometimes difficult when you have to say, hey.
Well, Timmy said it comes down to, well, what can you do for us as well? Well, it's got, we're not just going to give out free balls to everyone. Everybody wants free balls.
Right. Oh, yes. If I was kidding the guys last night, we went to dinner and we were talking. I said, at least nobody's asked me for a bowling ball. And recently, and I won't get into where or who, what have you, but someone I hadn't seen in a long time walked up and said, "Hey, Wes, can you send me a case of balls?" They've gone straight from 1 all the way to 4, Dom. So
it's cutting out the middleman now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's.
Well, if you're going to be cheeky, you may as well be cheeky.
I might as well be cheeky. Exactly. But we really appreciate the enthusiasm of all the bowlers and players. But when it kind of gets right down to it, we're trying to look for we're trying to get exposure, but we're also
you've got to be able to sell the brand and promote the brand.
Oh, absolutely. And we're trying to, because you have a responsibility when you get somebody involved with the company. It isn't just fact, here's the equipment. From our side of it, we're trying to help educate them. We want them to know what the products do. We want them to be successful. And that's one of the things that when I got involved over here and I first met Don Barrett when Stu Williams lived here before he moved to America, and Oscar Palermo, and now Martin Larson, and even my other colleague, Jesper, my other colleague Andres Gomez, who lives in South Florida, who's part of it. I wanted to make sure I understood what they were wanting to do as staff members, and each one of them said, "Hey, I want to win. I want to win on the PBA Tour." And so for each person, we kind of built our own little game plan. And part of my job is just trying to eliminate any obstacles I can with insofar as getting equipment or knowledge or whatever it is they need to help them succeed beyond the foul line.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of seeing Storm in action. I was talking to Timmy about it. You guys were all out in at Vegas for the World Cup, and to see you all operate was quite impressive. You don't miss anything. You know what's going on, even just a gentle touch on the shoulder, and you know what to say to all the players when and.
Well, we've been pretty fortunate. And that comes, like I said before, the support of the ownership and the leadership of Storm. We've got a great crew that works with the staff players. You've got Timmy that you've met with earlier, Del Ballard Jr., as well as Jim Callahan. And those 3 gentlemen, they travel all over the world and help support the players on the PBA Tour. Timmy being here with the European Tour from time to time for events. And right now Jim Callahan's over at the DHC in Japan helping our staff players there. And that's just a commitment that you're just not a staff player. Oh, here you go. Here's a few balls. See you later. We want to give that support, and that extends all the way through anybody on staff with us. And
the coach Wusu hung to the title basically, didn't they?
Absolutely. And in the World Cup that you just referenced, I was just there kind of in the background that if those guys needed anything.
You were there to pick up the slack.
Yeah, or if there's anything I could have done to be of any kind of help whatsoever. There was occasion. There's some some folks need some help with some bowling balls, and I helped move some things around. But it's all part of the process, and we're, like I said, we're very grateful.
Team effort.
Yeah, and we're very fortunate. We got a lot of guys that we've known each other for a while, and we kind of root for each other.
Nice little family atmosphere there at Storm.
We're very fortunate. And we're just trying to. There's a lot of great companies out there now, and I feel that's good for bowling, because when you make good products,
competition.
Well, when everybody makes good products, it makes everybody else get better.
Yeah.
It makes everyone else get better, and you can't rest on your laurels. And Timmy and I have talked about this several times. This phrase is dig in. You have to dig in and keep moving forward. And
speaking of Tim, actually, he's on 179 in the 8th with a spare working in the 9th. Not the greatest of games, but he's closed all the way through. He's not really caught many doubles.
Yeah, that left lane's really got him. He only struck once on the left lane. And that's really, fortunately he did strike and he did put a couple of strikes around it, but if you figure the only time he's missed was on that left lane.
Yeah. 277 actually from Torra Danielson is the pick of the players on that pair.
It's nice.
Where are you next, Wes?
Actually, I'm heading back to the States after this event's over. I'll go back to the States early next week, but then I'll be at the True Amateur Tournament in Las Vegas. We'll have some players.
It's a big tournament, isn't it?
Coming over. Have some distributors coming up from South America and some bowlers coming in from Mexico. There's a couple of real big groups that come in, so I try to help out as I can to, anytime we have folks that come in from one of the regions, I have some responsibility. I like to try to be there to help and do what I can.
You're all doing a great job at Storm. I don't know what else you could do to get any better, but
well,
you're obviously all looking at it.
Well, one of the missions of Storm is to grow the sport of bowling, just not on the tournament level, on the high end, but to grow it overall. Because if there's more players and you garner and gain more experience,
it makes business sense, and if there's more players, there's more products to sell.
Absolutely, and you grow the sport. I've talked to a lot of people recently, and you have to watch. You got to continue to develop the youth because the youth, just not for the fact they become consumers, but they become enthusiasts for your sport or your game. They become those fans that watch those players now, and they become the people who want to emulate those players, and they want to be more involved.
The sport has got a lot younger as well over the last 10 years. They're coming through a lot younger now, it seems, 16, 17, and already great players.
Yes, and I'm telling you, you're going to see, you're going to see more and more of the two-handed players.
Yeah.
That is very prevalent, and there are a lot of bowlers around the world, watching the live streams, watching, going to YouTube, watching videos, and keeping up who their favorite players are.
Which has been the biggest selling ball last year from Storm?
Biggest selling ball from Storm last year. I would have to tell you, one that's consistently sold and celebrating its 7th year in the product line is the High Road.
Yeah.
That's been a legendary.
That's going to be a sad day when you actually discontinue that, if it ever gets discontinued.
Well, we're not thinking. We're kind of every month or so when we're looking at when we're sitting in the production meeting, we're looking at the numbers. We're saying, how's that ball keep selling? But it's a tournament player's ball.
It's harping back to the 60s and 70s where you did have a ball for that long.
That's true.
You had one ball in your bag or two balls, and you kept it for 6 or 7 years. You even had your little name on it.
And now bowling balls, bowling balls are like going to the movies or buying a stock option.
Yeah.
The longer they're out there, they decrease in value.
They do, yeah.
There's a 90 to 150 day window on some of the products, and it's unfortunate, but there are so many good products out there by all the manufacturers that you got to capture that imagination. When you do have a ball like the High Road, to capture that imagination, it gives the players in the pro shop something that says, hey, we're going to keep that around for a while. It's going to stay tried and true.
How much work goes into the naming of the ball? Obviously, R&D is a massive process, the amount of time and technical work that goes into that. But how do you come to the point where you actually name that ball?
Well, it's from time to time, it can be something that's topical. It can be something that has just somebody had an idea, or somebody just had a thought, or you're saying, okay, well, if we name it this, we have these other names that we can link.
That you can link to
that we can link to it and so forth. But a couple of names going back a ways. The Exit was named because one of the U.S. sales reps, Ralph Solon, was sitting on an airplane, and X, means strike. He was sitting on an airplane. He saw an exit sign. He said, XIT, wonder about that. So X meant kind of strike, like strike it. So that came to be.
Yeah.
One of the ones that I threw a name out there that went pretty good is there was a very popular Apple iPod commercial that featured a U2 song. And it was all over the U.S. TV, just pounding away with commercials. And it was when one of the first iPods came out, and it was Vertigo was the song. Right. So I kind of threw that name and said, "Why do you want to do that?" I said, "Well, it's all over the airwaves. That name is going to be in people's back of their mind because it's going to tap them and tap them and tap them."
Yeah, like something like the hashtag now, wouldn't it? And things like that.
Exactly. And one of the other innovations with Storm, and I was there actually the day that it got created, was when the discussion about fragrance actually became part of, well, hey, what if? And part of that came from Mr. Crispin's background and the chemical supply business, and he's a chemistry man, and he said, there's cleaners and polishes that have fragrances in them, and they give off a scent or a persona about that particular product, being clean or being fresh. What if we blended that into the urethane? And that actually started the ball called the Power Bolt, and the eraser were the first two that actually had the fragrance.
Harks back to the old scratch and sniff stickers and stuff, doesn't it, really?
Exactly. And actually, it's actually blended into the cover stock of the ball. So it's all the way throughout the ball. So when someone rejuvenates it or someone resurfaces the ball or cleans it or what have you, it's going to help re-engage that fragrance.
Yeah, it's quite clever in a way because people do like the smell of things.
Well, the other reason why we did it is for that psychological initial effect. If you walked into a pro shop, just like you go into the movie theater and you smell the popcorn, that gets you thinking about, hey, I want to buy that popcorn. If you walk in and say, hey, what's that fragrance I smell? What's that orange or grape or cherry or whatever it is? And the gentleman in the lady in the pro shop says, that's the new Storm ball. They look at your bowling ball first.
You're drugging the customer then, aren't you?
Well, exactly.
Kind of leading them, oh, you're going to like this because it's cherry smelling.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's that initial effect because they look at your product first. It's that first impression.
Yeah.
So that's what it was all about. So as well as being something that spurred a sense, your sense of smell, it also got us to get their eyeballs on our bowling ball first.
Well, I've got a name for you, Wes, the Navigator.
That's a good one.
Navigates its way to the lane. You can have a space navigate, a circumnavigate, that kind of thing.
See, and that's a good one because that can tie into weather and storms and all that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You can have that for free.
Hey, anybody out there listening to this, shh, don't tell anybody said
Don't
it.
tell
Okay?
Columbia, we might use that one. Well, it actually came from, there's a team in Cyprus called the Navigators.
Oh, okay.
And that,
yes,
it got
I've
me
heard of
thinking
them.
of,
yes.
well, navigate, that's
a good
quite
one.
a good word in it.
That's a good one. Yeah, well, we also
It
look
navigates its way to the pins.
We also look at how much you have to engrave on the bowling ball and how
Well,
long
that's
it
the thing,
takes. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't make it too big. And the logos as well. How do you come up with the logos? You've obviously got some.
We have a marketing and design team that they throw a lot of different ideas out there to try to come up with some clever ideas and some clever looks. And I hats off to them. They keep coming up with new ideas and new really innovative designs on the logos and. It's just, and a lot of it, and quite frankly, a lot of it, we very much analyze how long it takes to engrave it on the ball because that's also a production situation. We want to keep it within a certain time frame so that way we can get the ball.
Yeah, you can't go too complicated.
Right. I mean, and also we want it to be attractive and appealing, but not something that takes away from us being able to produce the ball or to look good on the bowling ball.
And when you do name the balls, do you have to straight away go copyright that name, or?
In some cases we do copyright the name, but there's normally some professional courtesy in the fact that if you've got a name out there that you've got prior use, that that this is a small industry still, that it's nobody's going to kind of jump on something around that name. It's just a professional courtesy. It's like when all the zones were out with Brunswick or the different hammerage or what have you. There's that courtesy between, I mean, you can, we do copyright some of them just for protection, just for the simple reason but then on the other hand, sometimes you can, certain names in certain other areas, they're already copywritten in other areas that they've reached all the way into sporting
There's certain
goods.
words you can't copyright anyway, can you really?
Right. Yeah, I mean, and that can really get that whole intellectual property. That can get really fuzzy whenever you're dealing with.
How does a ball get its colour?
How does the ball get its color?
How do you decide on what a crux is going to look like? Or
sometimes it's just the way the ball reacts. Sometimes it's just absolutely the way the ball reacts because.
Do colours make any difference to the reaction?
Well,
have you found that certain colours
react
better than others?
I'll put it this way: back in the day when I was at Hammer, everybody always thought red would hook more than blue. Is that true? Who knows? Your guess would be as good as mine, Dom. I would have to defer that question to some of the guys in the R&D department at Storm. But as far as I see, I don't see anything that really hooks more than others. A lot of times it's optical. I mean, it's the optics, the way the ball you perceive or you see the ball going that way. And different people have different colors that show up to them a little bit different.
Daft as it seems, there's a lot of anoraks out there that will pick a ball because of the colours.
Yes.
Because that looks pretty. Oh,
right.
It smells nice as well.
Yeah.
And
well, and really, we're about performance, and when we design a bowling ball, we're looking at the matrix of the RGs, the differential, the cover stock, and the core in the ball, and then we're saying, okay, what inside this cube, inside these parameters we have to build a bowling ball in, and based on lane conditions that we're trying to deal with, okay, what are we missing? What player maybe needs a piece of equipment here that we're missing? And then sometimes we see that we have some say, okay, that's done really well. Well, we've got to refresh that. And a lot of that has to do with the ongoing battle back and forth between what's on the lane surface, what's the oiling patterns, what's the latest conditions that are out there versus what we have in cover stocks.
Yeah.
So we're always testing cover stocks. You know, Hank and Victor and the guys and Steve are always testing new core designs, new ideas. And that's what you're going to see in some of the new balls, especially like the Fight.
From start to finish on a bowling ball, how long is the RD on a ball before it even gets made?
Some ball, it depends on the product. Some it could take a year, and some it comes to them very quickly. It's almost by what I've learned from it, it's almost like writing a song.
Hank designs a lot of them, doesn't he?
Yes, Hank helped design the Cell. That was one of the first balls when he was running Rotogrip. Did a phenomenal job of that, and also he understands ball motion. He was a former tour consultant. You know, so he worked on the tour of the players as well as being a pro shop operator.
Yeah.
So he sees that picture. And so he's helped design the virtual gravity. He's had a hand in the bowling balls, since the time that he came over from Rotogrip to Storm for both of them, to help engage in some of those development side of it. So that's he's very creative, very ingenious gentleman.
From start to finish on an actual bowling ball, once it's all been agreed and you start making, and how long does it take to actually produce that ball through what's the word? You'll get the core, you'll get everything put together to make one ball. How would that? Right. Is that done in a couple of days to make that one ball? Or
in our R&D facility, we actually have a process where we can make small batches of bowling balls, and that's the whole key to it. Is there is a difference between what you make in small batches than you take to production, because you don't want there to be any drop off between. You want to make sure everything was translated in that prototype, in that test ball,
before you even
in that test
make
batch.
a run.
It's different when you're making, say, 20. Or you're making 8 or you're making 20 or what have you to do the initial testing, to you're flipping the switch on doing several thousand. So you want to make sure that everything identically matches up, from the interior design to the cover stock ratios, that the blending of the cover stocks to make sure you get exactly the same look.
What happens to that small run when you make them then? Do they get used, or?
Yes, in a lot of cases what ends up happening to those balls, those are balls we use as test balls, or there's some of the balls that go early out to staff.
Yeah.
And actually some of the first balls off the production line go to Asia and Europe. And then, then the balls after that, because we're getting those first like we were discussing, because it takes from Utah to Europe, Utah to the Far East, it takes, Pacific Rim, it takes about a month. It takes, week or so, blah, 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 to get out and then hit the ocean and go from there. And so, then they come back and they build the initial inventories to be able to help these initial orders in Asia and Europe first, and then get the balls ready to go to the pro shops and also to the staff members. The pro shops in our VIP program in the States.
Yeah.
And then some of the sample and seed balls we send out for reviews and that type of thing. And then we're ready to go get the balls to the distributors.
Have you guys got your own museum where you've got one of every single ball you've ever made?
Actually, inside the front doors to Storm in Utah, there's actually some big glass cases there that between Storm and Rotogrip, they've got a pretty good I don't want to say museum, but a pretty good display
selection
of all those products, of a very, very large number of products. Not necessarily the private labels that we do, but of the catalog and inline products that we've made over the years. And if anybody ever gets gets to the Salt Lake City area, if you contact Storm in advance, we do on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, I did the same when I went over to Florida. I was on a Disney holiday, and I got in touch with Kegel, and I thought, well, I'm only up the road from there. I wonder if it's okay to go. So I just contacted them, and yeah, come along.
Right. And
so Dom from Talk Temping, and I got the guided tour, so I kind of know what you mean with that.
Yeah. So I mean, and what we do is we host tours. So in other words, if someone said, hey Wes, I heard what you said, and I want to take a tour, then I'd be more than happy to host on the tour. But I need to be there, because we don't just let anybody wander about. And actually,
there's certain areas you can't go. It was the same at Kegel.
Exactly.
I can show you this, but you're not allowed in there.
Exactly. and it's only it's just intellectual property, and also at Storm there's some there's some areas just for safety reasons, insurance liability, all those things. You call it health and safety. I think here in the EU, we have to be careful and not expose people to areas that could be detrimental to them.
Yeah, you certainly don't want no lawsuits in America, that's for sure.
Well, yes, sir. Exactly. Yes, sir.
Let's give you a quick rundown as the featured pair you've seen now. We've got Chris Oates, Brian Voss, Lee Cocker, and Ben Grisinga. Voss has opened up with a spare double, spare strike. Chris Oates with a spare 4-bagger. And just waiting on the Benjamin Kuzinga with 75 in the 4th and a strike working. And Lee Cocker, strike, open, strike, strike, 8. Give you a quick rundown of those. Well, as always, it's a pleasure to speak to you, Wes.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
It's been great having you on.
If anybody has any questions or stuff, just fire them at you, and I'll be more than happy. Even if I answer them on the side later on.
I get carried away. Like same with Timmy, we were chatting away for ages, and then I forgot about the viewing public.
No worries. We
hope it's interesting to everybody. I mean, we're chatting like normal, but
yeah. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in and watching, and thanks for all the efforts of you and your colleague from Dutch Bowling TV. We really appreciate it. And
what do you think of the green screen and stuff then?
I tell you, I think it's fantastic because it helps give a whole nother appearance to it. And we can definitely represent the logos. I've been watching some back at the hotel when I wasn't here, and you guys are doing a great job and really appreciate it. And there's anything we can do from Storm, please let us know. Look forward to doing a lot more.
Well, basically, it's a case of showing you what we could do, and then we'll come and chat to you about
there
this
you go.
Sort of thing.
Perfect.
I'm looking for a sponsor for Malta, to be honest with you, Wes. We've got the 25th anniversary this year, and we're going to do what we're doing here, so we're going to make a big noise within Europe.
There you go. Hey, just one thing before we go. For those of you who are looking at the Player of the Year race or the Rookie of the Year race on the PBA Tour, yes, that's kind of decided by the players, but there's a lot of interest, and there's some interest with people commenting on Facebook and in social media about who they think should win, and that does have an impact. And if you look at the statistics and you cover up the name, you look at the statistics. Yes, I've got to pitch a couple of my our staffers here at Storm with Jason Belmonte possibly being Player of the Year again, and also on the European side, Jesper Svensson, 2 PBA titles for a rookie. Just won the Chameleon Championship. So I got to pitch our guys for Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year.
I think you lined up with the Rookie of the Year with Jesper for sure, and I think when you come down to it, you look at 2 majors and stuff. Jason, it should be 3 times in a row.
Well, and if it is,
if there's any justice in the world,
yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to Ryan Simonelli, who had a good finish.
Oh no, absolutely, and he's come on very strong and bowled fantastic. And just one little thing before you kick me out of here, just want to say.
I'm not going to kick you out. We can stay. Any questions for Wes quickly before he does go?
Just want to say a little hello to Andres Gomez and his wife Merle. They're also expecting their first child in South Florida.
Cool.
So if he's listening in this evening, PBA champion and one of our colleagues in the sales and marketing at Storm internationally, just all the best to he and Merle. I know he's down. He was at the Team Columbia tryouts in South America when I last spoke to him last week. So all the best.
Congratulations to Andres. Yeah, I've met Andres a few times. Nice guy.
Yes, very good.
You don't pick no muppets though. I've met a lot of your staff players, and they're all good guys.
Well, we're very fortunate. I mean, they see the big picture that we're all very fortunate to be in bowling and do something we love and be around it, and we're paying it forward. We want to pay it forward because there's going to be other people and other men and women and players that are going to be coming along, and hey, we just want to try to treat them well and show the proper.
One last question then, yes, a 2-parter really. Where do you sit on the 2-handed thing?
I see that going forward. I see there being more of that. I had somebody the other day ask me, say, well, Wes, wait a minute, why can't they just outlaw it? Why don't you say you can't bowl with 2 hands? I said, okay, so tell me when you're second-handed. Say you only bowl with 1 hand. Okay, so that means if I'm holding the ball in my approach, I'm holding and supporting with my other hand. Am I not bowling 2-handed there?
Yeah.
Or when does my hand technically come off of it? If it comes off of it, the release, I'm still technically bowling 1-handed.
I can't see what the argument is. I mean, whether you bowl with 1 or 2, it makes no difference.
Well, sometimes when you have change, people are resistant. People are resistant to change,
And where do you sit on the hating of Jason? Do you think he's a little bit too hard done by sometimes?
Say that one more time.
The haters against Jason.
Well,
I mean, you used to get it with lefties, and now it's 2-handers.
Anytime you look at any sport, any sport, any area where you have someone who excels to a particular level. People in our areas of society and culture, we want to build people up just to knock them down.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I mean, look at the pop stars, or look at the film stars, or look at sports stars and other activities and other leagues.
Would it have made any difference if Jason had been American and not Australian?
No, I don't think any difference. That's not any difference. I don't think so. If anything,
yet to be fair, people hate Pete Weber.
Well,
he's one of your own.
Well, and I tell you what, Pete Weber, when it comes to Europe, he's still one. We just had him in Mexico about a year ago. Huge draw. We just did an event with a distributor in Mexico, Jason Belmonte. They had people standing waiting to get a pin signed for 2 hours.
Wow.
I mean, so, and also the last time that Pete was here in Europe, tremendous response. Pete is still one of the most requested players that I get for, hey, when's Pete Weber going to be coming back over to bowl the European Tour?
Yeah, we'd love to see him back in England again. He's tiny, isn't he?
Oh, yes.
Who's bigger, you or him?
Pete's I got to say Pete's taller than I am.
Is that the hair, though?
Pete towers over me, okay? I don't want to get in trouble with Mr. Weber.
yeah, don't mess with a Weber.
No, sir.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on, Wes.
Thank you.
And thank you for sponsoring the tournament this year and for the next 2 years.
Hey, on behalf of Storm, we're just glad to be here and much appreciated. And,
upwards and onwards.
As I always say, just thank Bill and Barbara. They're the ones who make it happen. I'm just glad to be one of the messengers.
Will do, yeah. Hopefully next time we do a stream for you guys, we're going to look at doing Skype calls live on the thing. So next year, it'd be nice if we could actually have a Skype call with Bill. While the event's going on. I mean, obviously, there'll be a delay and he couldn't commentate on what's going on.
Yeah.
But we could have a chat like we are now while it's being watched.
That would be
we want to try something
perfect.
different next time.
Yeah, our colleague from Baltic UK, Mr. Kepi, was here, and I introduced him to FaceTime for a meeting we had a couple of months ago, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I never realized what a great thing this is." And
the phone's rubbish now. You just FaceTime and Skype and have all the rest of it. Yeah,
absolutely. That's great. Well, thanks, Don. Appreciate you guys. And
thanks
all your
a lot, Wes.
Thanks, fellas.
We'll
Appreciate
see you
it. Have
before
a great
the end of the tournament. Hopefully, we'll get you on for the finals at some point.
Say, I'll be around. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wes.
Yes, sir.
Cheers, man. Cheers, mate. Here you go, Sam. Right, we're coming up to the end of the game. I'm going to have a quick run down, Simon, and see if we've got a squad winner, who it's likely to be, and then we can pull them up. So I'll be back in a moment, folks. Well, in the absence of any other scores, it might be Brian Voss. He's had a 279 and a 240 odd in there, but he had a 179 first game. Chris Oates says he's about 10 or 12 pins above what he's had, and he was 90 over. So it looks like Voss is about 100 over. Christian Carlson's on a 290 here, but he didn't have much in the other 3 games.
Sorry, boys.
All right. Nick Froggatt, how are you doing? How has BV still got so much hair? He says. Sorry, I've not been chatting with you as much. As you know, we've just had Wes on, and he's like a pocket rocket talking, isn't he? Very hard to get a word in. He's while he was doing that, I'm thinking, what's my next question? What's my next question? Try and lead in with something like you know what you're talking about, which was difficult. But I think we covered a lot of things there. Dave Granger, brilliant interview with Wes. Give him my regards, Dave Granger. Hi, Dave. You didn't get flooded, did you, in Tadcaster? Can't get to your house now because the bridge has fallen down. It'll take me a long time to get there. So Voss is boss. 197 in the 8th with a spare working. Chris Oates leaving a 10 pin. He's going to finish with 236 if he spare strikes. Nick Frogger, how are you, Dom? I'm good, mate, thanks. How are you? How's the little one? Growing up? What's yours now? About 4, 5? 4? Mine's 6 now. Are you going to make a comeback, Nick Frogger? Winner of this tournament back in 2000 and remind me, Nick? 2005, 6, 4, 5, 6, something like that. I did have a list somewhere. It's disappeared now. But we had a list of all the champions. I'll have to find it. It's 5 now. Yeah, they get interesting round about 4, 5, 6. Start getting an opinion and answering you back and all the rest of it. It's cool. Yeah, time flies, as you know. 1 minute you're wiping the backside, next minute they're asking for money. $227 for Bard Jensen, $175 for Ollie Svensson. He says, ooh, 2005-ish. He should come back and have a little chuck. Come to Malta this year, Frog. Get yourself a pass from Mrs. and Little and just come over to Malta. Have a little bit of a holiday and do a bit of bowling, mate. David Barrett, that never stops. Does Dom still ask you for money? It should be the other way around now. Is he on the cusp of winning another 40,000? He should be buying you a house soon. Or a smart new BMW or something. Nick Frog, I might bowl again, but not while I'm training to teach, so busy. Oh, you're going to be a teacher? Wow, you're one teacher I wouldn't want. You'll be the clever one that knows exactly what the kids are up to because you were the kid that were doing it when you were younger. You won't be able to pull the wool over your eyes, will they? 235 for Brian Voss. I'm just going to give him a quick shout because he looks like he might be the squad winner, so we'll see if we can get him into the studio. Maths teacher Nick Frogger, the hardest thing you've ever done. Wow. Yeah, Brian Voss is going to come up. We'll have a quick chat with him. Well, if you'd have told me 20 years, right, in about 2016, Dom, you're going to be interviewing Brian Voss like a PBA champion, 25 titles and all that. Yeah, what have you been taking? So we ain't got an American flag yet, have we? Or have we? We'll have to get one ready. We could put a picture of David Hasselhoff up there or something. Or Will Ferrell. Yeah, we got the American flag. And we're going to change the name from Elliot to Brian. And Brian will be up in 5 minutes or so. But we'll stick around for a little bit. It might not be Brian Voss now, it might be Danny Hopcroft. Chris Oates said, a bit first female interview we've had. Oh, now we've got to put a British flag back up. Sorry, Simon, making you work here.
Just on that one there, just twist it round a little bit. 6.5 down. Simon will sort you out.
Going to be hard questions.
Nah, nothing too hard.
I'm not very clever, so don't ask me too much hard questions.
I'm not clever either.
Don't ask me hard questions.
You've probably got more brains than I have. You've certainly got more beautiful than I am anyway.
Oh, thanks.
Smoother.
Such
You like
a
that?
smoother.
Right, we're joined by Danny Hopcroft, who I'm told was the squad winner then. We had no idea. We thought it was Brian Voss, but then Porridge came up and said, oh no, she's millions over.
No.
What did you have?
990 scratch.
990 scratch plus your
Yeah, so
ladies bonus.
1022, I think.
Yeah, I think you've probably done it with that. What equipment did you bowl with there?
Started with my IQ Tour Solid.
Come around, just round about. Oh yeah, that's a bit better. Yeah.
IQ Tour Solid.
Uh-huh.
But it only lasted about a game, and then I went to my Optimus Pearl, and that just gave me just so much. I was so comfortable with it, so much room. So
Did you move much across the house?
lane-wise, yeah, I played the whole house, and I kind of moved my feet in like 2 boards most things. So I was just playing the same shot, quite happy, quite comfortable. So yeah,
You've not had
quite
to
nice.
raise your ball pace or drop it this week or anything?
Yeah, I've had to slow it down. I found that the ball was hitting flat a little bit, so I'd temp in. And if I could just kind of reduce my speed, get it to roll a little earlier, then I could carry a little bit more. So only really slightly, but I've had quite a nice area to play
You've
with.
had quite a nice year as well, haven't you, with the
yeah,
medals in
really good year.
in the championships and stuff?
Yeah, that was a really amazing week. Ups and downs, of course. Elation from the medal, nervous to disappointment in the team event. But
Yeah.
it was a brilliant week. Never in my wildest dreams thought I would come home with a medal. Knew it was capable, but it was just amazing.
Well, it
So-
wasn't really a shock to the rest of us. I mean, as a country, we're always competing. We're
Yeah,
always
we are.
there and thereabouts. And I think sometimes by your own admission, you probably say we're not the best players, but as a team,
Yeah.
you usually are.
Yeah, we worked really well
Worked
together as a team. We got on so well. We just like bounced off each other, the 3 of us, me, Joe, and Lisa. It was just really, really good.
Just having
really
a laugh
fun.
all the way
Oh,
through
yeah,
it,
we were,
not taking
which
it too
helped.
serious.
Of course.
And your own career, but is that European? You're going to play more EBTs, or are you going to get out there a little bit more?
I'd like to, but
Cop the
it's
money
money-wise
involved,
at the
yeah.
minute, so
What do you do to bowl? What job do you do?
I'm a receptionist, so it's not the highest paid job in the world,
Yeah.
but it helps.
You need a rich sugar daddy or something.
Yeah, or my own
Or a
dad.
sponsor.
So.
Oh, your own dad. And what equipment are you bowling with generally these days? A mix or are you
All Storm or Rotor Grip.
all storm or rotor grip?
It just rolls so much better for me, so nice. So all I've used is Storm this week. Just my Optimus and my IQ Tour really has been most of it. So
What you got planned for the rest of the year? Anything lined up?
obviously waiting for selection for Team England again. So we're hoping for Vienna, so the European Championships in Vienna. So we're obviously reigning back-to-back champions. So we'd like to go back and defend that and obviously see where it takes us.
Yeah, well, good luck with the rest of the year and good luck with the tournament.
Thank you.
We're going to see you in the next round now. It's going to be a late night.
Yeah, very late.
And
night.
then early start.
Hopefully an early start. So.
Yeah, but where did you come last year? You were in the last 3
Um,
females, weren't you?
Yeah, I think I came 3rd female last year, and then I finished 16th. So I made it to match play and lost the first round match play. But I played well last year, and I mean my game feels a bit better, a bit stronger. So just take each round as it comes.
What have you been
happens.
working on in the last year and with who?
With John Tadal. So a bit of release, a bit of pace, so I can change my pace a little bit to try and use the adjustments. Just a lot more practice than I'm used to.
And you bowl at Lincoln, don't you?
Yeah.
What do you think of the new scoring system there? You got the best X, didn't you?
Yeah, it's just getting used to it. I don't really know how to use it, but the bowl looks amazing.
It's nice
Wow.
though. You got the
Yeah.
touch screens and all the rest
Yeah,
of it.
we've just had the new kind of ball returns all put in this week, so it's going to look really, really good.
Played
really
on any
smart.
games yet?
No, I haven't.
No. Oh, you want to have a play on the
Yeah, you
games?
can take photos of yourself, I think, can't you? and set
Oh,
them
you
up
could
on
do
the
all
screen.
sorts. Yeah. Put your face on characters and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Have a little
U-tunes
play,
or something
have
it's
a little
called.
play.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank
Good luck in the
you.
next round,
Thank
and
you.
hopefully we're going to see you in the finals tomorrow as well.
Fingers crossed.
Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot,
very
Danny.
much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's Danny Hopcroft, the squad winner there. Thanks, Dan. Oh, I think Brian's forgotten actually, but then again, he wasn't squad winner anyway, so we'll catch the PBA legend a little bit later. Ask him what he puts on his hair. Yeah, that's a good question actually, Frog. When we do get him on, we'll say, how have you still got hair at your age? And it should be grey, shouldn't it? Are you using Grecian 2000 or something? But thanks everybody for watching. We're going to take a break now because we're going to be back for the final step 2. It was listed for... Let me have a look. Where's the... Yeah, it was listed for 10:15, but we're already on 10:15. We're going to have... It's going to be about 11 o'clock, I think, before we start. So it's going to be another late night. But hopefully you can stay with us and watch the rest of it. You're going to wait for the seniors to say, Frog. No, I'm not coming back to the seniors until Ronnie Oldfield retires. But with that, I'm going to take a break and we'll be back very soon. So thanks again for watching and we'll see you soon. Right, we've got a special guest now for you, Brian Voss. We thought you'd won the squad, but it turned out Danny Hopcroft had a few more than you, Brian.
Well, I started with 170, so I'm very pleased.
And what did you end with in about 100 over?
941.
941. That's not too bad.
Well, you know, it's the kind of squad where there really isn't any pressure. I mean, all it does is advance you to the next round. And after my 170, I said, what the heck? I got nothing to lose. Let's just go practice.
Well, you won it last year, and you did the same sort of thing, really. You just kind of went through. You weren't the best player all the way through it. You just the most dangerous player.
Just surviving rounds, yeah. You know, quite ironically, you know, last year when I showed up, I had an injury before I came, and you know, didn't really bowl very much. And same thing happened. You know, December 31st, I'm at a bowling center, and I'd practiced for 2 days prior to that, and there was this little bowling game with little pins. And anyways, I did that for 6 frames, hurt my left hip, my right groin, didn't pick up a shot or a ball until I got here. So same thing, no expectations, just go have some fun, and you know, just kind of build your way up slowly.
I found that quite amazing, really, Brian, because you were fairly animated on the final last year. You were jumping around, and you were showing you showed like you were when you were 21.
Well, you know, in my mind, I'm still kind of 21. I just this is my first tournament in 5 months. Took a lot of time off, but I'm back in the thick of things for about a month and a half.
Enjoying it again now.
Yeah.
Get your questions in for Brian Voss quickly. Nick Frogger asks, what do you put on your hair?
What do I put on my hand?
On your hair. How come
hair.
You've still got hair at your age?
I
think it's what they were getting at.
Nothing on my hair. I don't color it. I pluck a couple here and there, but that's about it. I'm just blessed.
You're just blessed with curly hair.
I'm blessed. Yep.
Where are you next after this one?
I'll be in Germany for a couple weeks doing some teaching. In Germany they have a Bundesliga. Occasionally they hire some players to come bowl for a team. So I'm going to bowl for a city called Jena on a weekend. I'm just going to do some traveling and teaching. And after that, there's a tournament in Poland. I'll be there. Hi, guys, if anybody's listening. A little small tournament in Lausanne. I'm going to bowl that. And then head on back home.
What are you doing in June? You got anything planned in June? We've got the Malta Open coming up.
Yeah.
We've not seen you in Malta yet.
I know, Malta is, but gosh, I wish I could. It usually coincides with, I believe we got our senior U.S. Open, senior Masters.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm not committed to anything. I can do what I want if things are going good and I'm feeling healthy, which, by the way, in Malta, you got to... You got to have a little fun there, so I would have to be very refreshed if I decide to go.
Well, give it some thoughts. It'd be nice to see you over there.
It would be. I have some good friends.
It's the 25th anniversary this year, so you'd be the guest star if you came over.
Well, I was there I went there a couple times 6 years ago. Did some teaching. Haven't been back since, but I got some good friends there. It's great people.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
So you're in the next round now. You better go off and get rested and everything. And
6 games. It's what time is it here? 10:30. Yeah, it'd be a little bit like last year. We might finish about 1:30, get to bed at 2, and wake up and do it all again.
up at crack of dawn again.
Yeah, but same for everybody.
How many tournaments have you won over the years then? Besides the 25th on the PBA, have you kind of lost count?
I have 10 international titles. If you include silver level events over here in Europe, about 10 of them. So one a year it seems like. And this is the start of the year, so who knows?
Well, congratulations on everything you've done so far, Brian. It's a pleasure to interview a legend.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
And hopefully we're going to interview again like we did last year for the final when you win it again.
I'd love to. Thank you.
Have you had a bet on yourself?
No.
No?
No.
You never bother with that?
If I'd have came here sharp, bowling every day for 3 hours, I might have done that. But I'm not an idiot. This game can humble you very quickly. And no, I did not bet on myself. But anybody out there that did, you now know the history of the last 3 months. So it's not my fault. You should have asked me.
Well, thanks for coming on, Brian. And
right.
go get yourself a rest and everything, and we'll see you in the final.
Thank you.
Cheers, sir.
Okay.